Hallucination. Hallucination. Things that go bump in the night.
The story takes place during 2020. I, like most people, was very bored during quarantine and did not have a lot to do. One of the only things that I could do each day was go for a walk. At the time, I was living in a major city in a populated neighborhood for late 20s and early 30s. One of the perks of this area was that there was 3 small lakes connected to each other, and that if you chose to run or bike around them would be about 11 miles. Each day, I would walk out to one lake and walk around it for a while and then head back. However, to get to this particular lake, you could take a path either down a sidewalk or you could go through the woods. The woods was nice. Actually had a small bird sanctuary and was quiet. You would maybe see 1 or 2 people when you walked around this. It was certainly not busy. However, for a few hundred feet, if you took the path through the woods and not down the sidewalk, you would go along a graveyard. As I walked along the graveyard, I started looking at the headstones to see the oldest one that I could find. Just a silly game I played. As I looked at each one, I finally stumbled across the oldest one I could find, for someone who was born in 1860. But what was funny, a coincidence, was that they had the same birthday as me. I didn't think much of it, besides that it was an odd coincidence. As I passed the graveyard and started to walk through the woods, I saw a person walking towards me. However, this did not feel like a normal interaction. I was wearing a black sweatshirt and gray sweatpants, and so was this person heading towards me. But what stuck out to me the most is how they walked towards me. It was almost as if they were mimicking me. As I walked towards them, if my arm would swing, so would theirs. If my left leg would move, so would theirs. For a few brief seconds, I felt like I was in the Twilight Zone, and I was legitimately about to walk into myself. Almost felt like I was walking towards a mirror, if that makes sense. For anyone out there wondering, I was completely sober, so this was not a situation in which my mind could be altered in any which way. It legitimately felt like the person I was walking towards was mimicking me. When I got up close, I seriously expected to walk into a doppelganger of myself, or something. As I got closer, I realized that the person looked nothing like me, although they were wearing similar clothes. As I walked by, I chalked it up as a weird coincidence that I could just not explain. However, once I started hearing stories about skinwalkers and how they can imitate people and animals, I started to wonder, did I have experience with something like this? To this day, I seriously cannot explain the feeling of walking towards this person. It's like nothing I've ever experienced in my life, and it makes me wonder if I did see something explainable in the woods that day.